I'm Judy Williamson with Primitive Quilts and Projects, and today we are honored to visit with Carrie Buck of Carried Away Designs. And Carrie's had some beautiful nature-based projects in our magazine, and I hope that we can learn a lot more about that. So let's just get started. Hi, Carrie. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing well, thank you.
Good, good. Um, where are you located?
I'm in Columbus. I moved here about, it's been 3 years now,
Ah,
from Medina. And
mhm,
yeah, Columbus was calling my name. I love it down here. There's so
mhm.
many places to hike, bike, kayak. I love it.
Uh-huh.
So
So you're,
my studio is in my condo.
oh, that's cool. So so you're a nature girl, and I can tell that in your designs. And when I think of Columbus, Ohio, I think of a big concrete city. So it's really neat to hear you say that there's a lot to do outdoors.
Yeah, many metro parks. And then
Mhm.
Hocking Hills is oh, I don't know, an hour, a little more, it's more than an hour away, but
Mhm. Yeah.
yeah, close. Not, that's an all day affair if we go on a hike down there.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And Hocking Hills, that's kind of like whenever I go there, I feel like, am I in Ohio?
Yeah.
But anyways, tell us a little bit about your work and how, what prompted you to get started in this line of work.
Well, I guess I've definitely always been creating something, sewing something since I was little, drawing, and always trying to find a way to earn some money. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
So, and what I'm currently doing started from, I first started with seeing a hooked rug,
Mm-hmm.
and I did a few of those, but I thought this is way too difficult to try to earn a living by selling hooked rugs. So I saw some wool applique, and I started designing some purses and tote bags and runners, Christmas stockings, and I started selling finished product at art shows.
Mm-hmm.
I was very busy at the sewing machine. Almost all of it was done on the sewing machine, and then I would add a little bit of embroidery to it. So I was pretty much a slave to the sewing machine doing that. So
Mm-hmm.
that lasted. I did the art shows for about 3 years, and at that time I had the idea to sell my designs as patterns, and it took some time to transition, but it was a very, very, very good move because I have more time to design. Um, and I make something one time and then create the pattern and it's out there. So it's been working really well.
Mm-hmm. Great. Have you always dabbled in art, sketching and drawing?
Yeah. I mean, I remember going to my grandma's and she would get she was a sewer, a seamstress. So she would get those fabric samples. We're talking mid 60s. And so she
Mhm.
would put those out on the floor for me, and I'd sit there and, make clothespin dolls, clothes for clothespin dolls, and yeah, always drawing. Yeah,
Mhm.
just love to draw.
Uh-huh. Are
And
there other forms of art that you enjoy?
I did watercolors for about 10 years when my
Uh,
kids were, I was a stay-at-home mom. So I did that in my spare time and got good enough to sell the watercolors. Did one show, I did all my matting and framing and everything. One show was that it was like, this is way too much work. Um, that was the end of that. And I remember my mom was so sad that I was quitting the watercolors. But again, it was a good move to start
Mhm.
fiber. Yeah.
Yeah. How did you learn uh, sewing and rug hooking, etc.?
Well, my mom didn't teach me, and I remember home ec in middle school. I already knew how to sew, so I think I took lessons, at a place downtown Norwalk. I don't remember that. I remember using my mom's sewing machine so much she got sick of it and bought me one for Christmas one year. So, in high school, I made all my clothes.
Mhm.
I was very content being home on Friday night sewing a new outfit instead of going to the, football game or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, a little bit of an introvert.
Okay. I think that is common in our field.
Yeah.
So a lot of your designs feature nature. So, what got you, what brings you to the love of nature?
Um, well, some of the quilts are from memories, and my grandparents had a very small cabin in southern Vermont. And I would go there, and my grandma was very knowledgeable of flora and fauna. And we would walk through the woods and fields, and she would be identifying things here and there. So that probably had an effect on me. I'm sure it did. And then when I had my first daughter, I have three girls, she was fascinated by the birds. She would just sit at the slider and watch the bird feeder. She would watch the birds come to the bird feeder. I was like, okay, this is what you're interested in. And so we nurtured that. We got books and recordings and all that kind of thing. So I kind of learned with her. Yeah, and she's a wildlife biologist now. So
Nice. That's great.
yeah. And then my mom was a gardener. So I enjoyed flowers and had gardens also.
Uh-huh.
Big part.
All right. Um, have you had any funny stories, funny experiences along the way you'd like to share?
Um, well, I don't know how funny this is, but so I started doing quilt shows
Mhm.
and selling, and then gradually did bigger shows than the national shows. My first big show, I had designed a very small block of the month. Um, And I was so nervous going to this big show with all these other designers, and, I was nervous. And I was nervous about selling this block of the month. And I think it was like 9 blocks, and I think I charged like $12 a block. Pretty sure that's what I charged. So I was afraid that, I wasn't going to sell any. So this woman came along, and she did buy it. She liked it, and she signed up for it. And I was so excited. I hugged the woman. I was so excited. And I surprised her a little bit, but I think she understood.
I bet she remembers that to this day.
She probably does.
Um, what kind of so our in this fall issue, our designer notes question has to do with overcoming challenges um, in in life or in your creative journey. Um, do you have any kinds of
Oh,
challenges to share? Yeah.
um, yeah, I couldn't even speak to three people for like most of my life. And uh, an acquaintance who is a quilter said, this is when I was, I don't know, 6 years into the designing. She said, you should come and speak to our guild. And, immediately I was like, you know, nervous all over, and knowing that it was a good thing to do, that I should do it, and, be good for me and all that stuff. So I agreed. I said, okay. And the speaking date was 6 months out. I was so nervous every night about speaking, and it was a big guild. So the evening came and I did it. I was very prepared and it went fine. Nobody knew it was my first time. And I couldn't believe they couldn't see my knees knocking, you know. but um, but what I realized after that, and I've talked to many guilds, and it just got easier and easier. And what I realized is that if you're passionate about something, it is so easy to speak about it. And I am very passionate about designing.
Mhm.
So yeah. And you know, it's fun. You get to talk about yourself.
Right. Oh, that's great. Um, well, um, if our readers would like to learn more about you, do you have like a website or Facebook page or anything like that where they could go?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook, Instagram. My site is carriedawaydesigns.net.
Mhm.
Just had a new site built last year. Um, yeah, and Facebook and Instagram, Carried Away Designs. So,
Okay.
there.
All right. Well, I bet you some people are going to go check that out now.
Hope so.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I really appreciate your time. It's really nice getting to meet you.
Yeah, it's nice to see you.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much. And thank you to all our readers for watching this. And we'll catch up with y'all later. Okay. Bye.